So, Marcus Rashford carries on at Manchester United, but for how long? Because as we mentioned earlier on, the Telegraph reporting that United are open to selling Rashford from January, and that stance was the same last summer. So it seems his days are numbered. If that is the case, how would United fans feel about that? To say the least of it, the number of messages and calls coming in are quite incredible. There is a Manchester United fan, no name in this, but he says, I'd drive Rashford anywhere he wants to go. In fact, I'd help him pack. Appalling body language and work rate from someone who is allegedly a Manchester United fan. Frank in Wigan, get rid of him now. I'm a season ticket holder at United. He's earned so much money, but he's delivered so little. Jason is a big United fan. Jason, good morning. If his days are numbered at United, would you be happy to see him go?
Yeah, morning, gents.
Morning, Jason.
I'd never be happy. Yeah, I'd never be happy for any player to go, but we've just got to call it what it is at the moment. And the problem we have as a football fan is, for some reason in the media, we can't split the difference. Marcus Rashford, the man, and Marcus Rashford, the football player. As a man, you know, he comes across fantastic. He's a local lad. He's done a lot for this country, a lot for the kids in this country, more than you could say, you know, some of the politicians. But for some reason, that kind of, you know, that swerves the idea that what we see as a player. The guy's on 300, world-class money, and his performances are shocking. You know, Danny said there, you know, if he plays well, I think most fans can look back over his career. He's had probably 2 good seasons. He scored a couple of goals against Ipswich. He's back. He's not back. He's been poor. He's been poor all year. I just wanted to ask Danny a question. You know, I always compare him to Anthony Martial. You know, Martial in the media, you know, used to pick and choose his games, used to get paid massive money. He used to run around very low, sulk. His stats are very similar to...
You're just losing Jason there. So he's comparing him to Martial. Is it a valid comparison?
In some respects, I know what he means. I think Martial was probably a little bit more obvious. Yeah, obvious in his disappointment or frustration of not playing as much, because Rashford was always playing, so it's a bit different. But yeah, I mean, both players of talent who should do more. Should do more for the talent they've got. The problem United have got, and Simon's touched on it, irrelevant of what the fans say, is that from a business point of view, it's a really difficult one. Who's going to pay his wages? I don't think anybody.
Well, how long has he got left in his contract?
I think his contract expires in 2028, so there's 3.5 years to go on it.
So even if someone paid, let's say, 200, which is still a huge sum for someone who's not performing, there's a 150 deficit, which Simon worked out, best part of 80 million was it for 3 years? 3.5 years?
Yeah, I mean, even if United were prepared to pay him up, because I think the player would sit there, it's my view and I may be wrong, is I'm not taking a penny less than I owed, and I also want to get a bump for going to the club I'm going to. So Man United are in a very difficult position because A, they currently are looking to make sure they get maximum value of everything they do, so they're not going to give Marcus Rashford away. So the only way they're going to get him out the door and get him off the wage bill is being prepared to reduce the transfer fee. People are talking about a £45 million transfer fee. I don't see anybody paying 45, 50 million quid for Marcus Rashford and picking up 16, 17 million pound a year wages. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Nasser will buy him because they were talking about him going to PSG a year ago, and maybe that will fall into their. He's still only 27. There still is an opportunity to address. I do think there's a classification of Marcus Rashford that's wrong. I do not think he's at the level that people have put him as. I think we can deal with the body language side of things by getting an effective manager to get his mind right, get him focused. But I don't think he's a world beater. I don't think he's got a trick. I think he's pacey and he's got some good delivery and he can score a few goals. Yeah. But I don't think he's at that high end.
He should always be, with his talent, a 1 in 3 winger, which is a good ratio for wingers.
But this is what he is.
Salah's the exception to that rule.
It's not so much the question, Danny. Are we still to see the best of Marcus Rashford? Are we likely to see the best of Marcus Rashford?
We've seen his max, I think. But is he capable of getting there again? Yeah. There's nothing stopping him getting there, only himself. Right. I think Amorim is the type of coach that's capable of... And I think the scenario of him going is unrealistic. I think he'll stay, and I think Amorim will try and work with him.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.